How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Fourever Arsenal podcast, usually exclusive to AFTV VIP, but once in a while we get on YouTube and we have a little chat here as we do every week on the VIP app AFTV. Big up you guys, Jordan, Lee and James back in the building. It feels like it's been a little while, lads. It feels like it's been a little while.
It has been a while, yeah, over a week, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think the last episode came out early last week, so it has been a little
I think I was in Dubai when I was in Dubai. I think I was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We still see you got a little tan there, Lee. Enjoying
Yeah,
life.
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Big up everyone in the chat already. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. And as always, show some love, engagement in the comment section. I'll pick out some of the interesting questions. Jordan.
Sorry, how do I see the chat? I want to see the chat as well. How can I see? Oh, I got it.
Yeah, see where it says comments.
Honestly, how is this man make a living out of media?
I want to see the abuse. I want to see the abuse. That's what I want to see.
None of that.
Don't write it. Oh my god.
Listen, it's been a good week. There should be none of that. There should be no bad moods at the moment because
hold on a minute, sir. There should be some grief pushed towards two people in this podcast.
Talk to me.
We're predicting defeats and draws against Manchester United. Not me and you, though, Curtis. When we have a look at the league table at the end of the programme, that is the reason why, my friend. That is the reason why.
Listen, there's people piling on me. I've not even said a word yet. There's people piling in on me saying all kinds of stuff. It's like, let me say something first before you tell me I'm chatting rubbish.
That's your family.
That's my brother. Sorry, Toki. Sorry, I'm watching the chat.
No worries. Listen, I'll pay attention to the chat. I'll pick out the best questions along the way. We're here for about 45 minutes to an hour, so big up everyone that's going to send in there. There's a couple of big games coming up tonight as well. Chelsea United.
I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they were playing tonight. I had no idea. It's about an hour ago. That's mad.
I think it got rescheduled into Thursday at some point earlier this month, but I'm not too sure. And obviously West Ham, our next opponent in the Europa League semi-finals against Frankfurt. So that would be an interesting one.
Snooker.
What's happening in snooker? Finals?
That's semi-finals. Ronnie O'Sullivan's just about to get on, do we like a snooker on here, or are we not into it?
I like snooker.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, John Higgins is my guy. I don't know if he's still about, but yeah.
Typical Jordan. Look. No class.
Sorry.
Thing he'll be saying he's Paul champion of his Channel 4 group. Ridiculous.
I'm not bad, actually.
Listen, on to Arsenal.
There you go.
On to Arsenal. We've had a good about 3 minutes here already. Listen, people, hit the like button if you haven't already. And the Man United game, Jordan, James, Lee was referring to you two in terms of the draws and defeats because I predicted a 3-1 win. So I will remind people of that one. That's calling me negative in the chat. But yeah, talk to me, Jordan. You've been a massive Arteta fan throughout the season. Towards the end of the season, you said we have to get top 4 now. A couple of games ago, it looked like we threw it away. A couple of games later, we lead the pack again. So how are you feeling?
We do. We're back in the box seat as far as I'm concerned. He's turned it around. He's got some points in the bag that I don't think we expected. I expect Arsenal to beat West Ham next. So that'll be 9 out of 9 from the so-called tougher games and the harder running. That phrase really irks me. But anyway. And look, it's been a good couple of weeks. It's been a good week, couple of weeks for Arteta. The job's not done yet. We are favourites, but we're not there yet. I did predict an Arsenal defeat, not just to be contrarian, but I thought we'd lose the game because my rationale was I wasn't quite convinced that this team was mature enough to be able to get a big win, as they did at Stamford Bridge, and then almost park that and be cold about the next big game and back it up. I was a bit worried about whether they'd be caught cold and still kind of in the we beat Chelsea mode come Saturday lunchtime, and they weren't. They handled business. I also underestimated how bad United are. I mean, I don't think Arsenal were even that good. Arsenal were not good against Man United. They weren't brilliant, but I think you can beat United now at 60%. And that is not what I expected. United had their moments, and you could argue they deserved the point from the game. Over the whole 90 minutes, maybe. I think Arsenal shaded it just over 90 minutes. but I think I really underestimated how bad they were. One thing I liked was the fact that when they were on top of us, we rode our luck, and there was a bit of luck. Let's be real. There was a bit of luck in that game for us. We rode our luck, we stood firm, and then scored the goal and killed the game. And I thought that kind of resilience, I thought, albeit against a poor side, I thought was a really positive as well. So a brilliant win for the guys, and we're in the box seat now for top 4.
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple sticky moments, especially in that second half. I think a couple moments stood out for me. Obviously, Fernandez's penalty miss was one of those. But there was still a bit of pressure after that until Xhaka's banger. When Xhaka scored that took the wind out of United sails. And from there, you know, we pretty much saw out the game. Lee, you know, how you feeling? How you feeling now? Because a couple games ago, you was like me, you know, you thought, you know, we looked at each other after that, what was the Southampton result, and we just thought, you know, it's over. But here we are.
Unbelievable. Like, you know, if you'd have come up to, after that game against Southampton, if someone would have come up to me and said, right, well, we're going to beat Chelsea away, we're going to beat Man United, and Spurs will only take 1 point from Brentford and Brighton, I'd have said you're as deluded as Ty. You know what I mean? Like, I really, you know, but it's unbelievable it's happened. You know, so you can't predict anything in football. But I'm with Jordan on that. What was the most important thing on Saturday was to back up that result against Chelsea. Now, I actually said don't care about the performance, just get the result. And that's what it was. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that Man United were probably the better team, shaded it. I think that we scored a couple of goals against the run of play. But do you know what we've done in our last 2 games, what we didn't do in the bloody ones before? We've been ruthless in front of goal. We took our chances. You know, Man United were the ones that were being a little bit woeful. They hit the bar. You know, the penalty miss. You know, so you know, football. You can say a lot of things about football, but you do need a little bit of luck, guys. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? If that goal goes in, you know, for a start, Turkish wouldn't be smug as he is tonight. Really, like, let's just get that plain and simple. But more importantly, I think that just was a game changer of a moment, because I think if they would have scored that, I don't think we was going to come back and win that game. And then, like 10 minutes later, you know, Xhaka, who, by the way, has been outstanding in the last couple of games. What a finish that was! And I'll tell you what, it was great to see that he went to the crowd and sort of took it all in. It was like a forgiveness moment, like, you know, him saying, you know, this sort of kiss and make up. Arsenal fans, I thought it was a really special moment, I think. And it's really now, we have got to nail these next 2 games. And I'll tell you that now, we've got West Ham and Leeds. And if we go into that, to win those 2 games, going into the North London derby, I'm going to be a lot more positive than I was a week or so ago. But these next 2 games are massive. But a great performance. Wasn't probably what we got, but we got a fantastic result, and that's all that matters. 7 goals, you know, in our last 2 games against Chelsea and Manchester United. Like, you know, football, don't ever tell me, like, and predict football. You know, you just cannot predict what's going to happen, and that is the reason why. The reason there, in a nutshell.
Yeah, you said something right at the beginning of that, where, you know, looking at Tottenham's next couple of fixtures after that loss to Southampton, Brentford and Brighton, you know, that was also demoralizing, because we thought, you know, they're going to pick up maximum points, but they haven't. We've got a super chat here from AFC Max. Oh, well, let me just read it out, because it does ruin the structure of the show a little bit. It says, to be fair to James and Turkish, they are positive, negative people. And with hospitality judges, I don't know how he's going to feel every day. One day happy, one day grumpy. To be honest, Jordan was the only positive one. Obviously, he's...
Who's that, Turkish? Who's that?
I can't believe your mum's paying for super chats. I really can't. Like,
Where is he? Wherever you are, big up yourself. Let's go. Thank you.
Listen, James, apparently we're positive, negative. I kind of understand that for me. I don't know how you take that one, but talk to me, man.
I thought I was the only one after Southampton who had the audacity to say, look, it could still turn around. Even Jordan was losing it at that point.
It was.
But I get it. I think we were all at a point where we thought it was done. I think we've had that 2 or 3 times this season, maybe 4. You know, it's the top 4 race. It's unpredictable. I will say that Arsenal were very good at the bridge. I thought we went punch for punch and we created better chances. The United performance, I agree. I think we edged it in that. See if you follow what I'm saying here. 'Cause I don't know if I'm going to make sense, but while Arsenal weren't at their best, I thought we looked the more coached side in that when we were trying to play, there were clear patterns and some of the chances we created were well worked. You could see what we were trying to do, which looked a bit off it. Whereas United, I felt, were kind of just giving it all they got with the individuals they had. I thought Sancho played well, Ronaldo, but I didn't think across the park United's 11 played brilliantly. But we took our chances, yeah, absolutely. And we did have a few others. You think the Nketiah chance, El Neni forces a good save. So look, I thought we did fine. We did enough to win. But it's about following it up now, because the next 3 games, I believe, are crucial. I think a few people have been saying it now. Away at West Ham, if we pick up 3 points before Spurs go to Liverpool, then we've got Leeds at home. Look, for the last 5 results, it feels silly to be projecting and looking ahead. But I do believe that if you're the Arsenal squad, you've got to use that as motivation. I think it becomes a bit of a cliche saying, we'll take it game by game, see where you are. I think if you're Arteta and you're with the players, you've got to be saying, look at who they've got in the next 3. Look who we've got. That third game is against each other. Use it as fuel and motivation to get through the next 2, pick up 6 points, and then see where you are. Because the task in 3 games' time in North London against Spurs could be very, very different depending on the results. And look, you always want to win a North London derby. You always, always, always want to win it. There is something different when you're not chasing it and you realize, well, a point keeps us 5 points ahead. That's slightly different to it's neck and neck. We're going to have to try and win this. And then do you want to go punch for punch with Spurs? We're brilliant on the counter-attack. So I think the motivation has to be do everything you can these next 2 and see where you are. But the last have been brilliant.
Can I just follow up James's point there? I'll go and say, I'll look ahead. 7 points from the next 3 games, top 4's done. We get 7 points from the next 3 games, we will finish top 4. I would even go as far as to say 6 points in the next 2 games, I reckon it's all but done. So going into that Spurs game, if we win our next 2 games, who is it? It's West Ham and Leeds. 6 points there. Because I'll tell you why I reckon even 6 points might do it. Spurs are not beating Liverpool. They're not beating Liverpool. They're just not. They may get a draw. They're not beating Liverpool.
Nah, see, I think if there's one team that could, it's them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, James. I'm with you on it.
I think if there's one team that could, almost more than like a Chelsea or a United, because see, City can beat Liverpool because they'll go punch for punch and they're brilliant. Every other team, I think, a United, an Arsenal, a Chelsea, you try lay a glove on them, you won't. I think Spurs will go, yeah, we know we're not. 5 at the back, 4 in midfield, Kulusevski, Son and Kane on the break. I think they can hurt them. I think they're the one team. See what they did at the Etihad a couple months ago.
Yeah, exactly that.
Didn't really surprise me. It did because they just lost 2 on the bounce. But if they did that at Anfield, I wouldn't be surprised, which is why I think it's about do the job in the next 2 and then see where we are. But you've got to think Liverpool, who are unbeaten at home all season.
Yeah, there's always but listen, if Liverpool nail that and beat them, I want Liverpool to win the league. Do you know why? Because Man City failed to beat Spurs this season. Don't deserve the title for that reason. Don't deserve it. Come on, Liverpool. Smash them.
City themselves.
It's a good point you make.
City themselves have been responsible for a 12-point swing in this top 4 race because they took 6 from us and gave 6 to Spurs. It's in a game where we probably deserve something. In 2 games where Spurs probably did deserve a lot, although they gave it a really good go at the Etihad. But listen, that's football, isn't it?
Can I ask you a question? Do you guys think it's difficult or easy to finish 4th? Do you think it's actually hard to come 4th in this league and we're seeing that? Or do you think actually it's really easy and we're just equally crap?
Hard. Can I just jump straight in with that?
Yeah,
go. I've seen a comment, and I'm not going to give them the time of day, but I've seen it about the top 4 and some comments I made with Turkish on a stream yesterday. Here's why I think it's hard, right? Because the only 2 teams that have nailed it, top 4, come the start of May, are City and Liverpool. And look at the standards they're playing at. One's going for, one of them spent over $1 billion. The other's going for the quadruple. One could win the Champions League and Premier League double. You're talking about 2 of the best managers this league's ever seen. Chelsea, who are or were the reigning champions in Europe, you know, Club World Cup as well, in another FA Cup final, serial winners, they're safe just because you can't rely on Arsenal and Spurs being consistent. But it only was really the West Ham game when they won where they probably felt, all right, and breathe, we've probably got top four now. So they've kind of been just out of it, but not till recently did they kind of get that nailed. And then everywhere else, whether it's money spent, the fact Conte's a brilliant manager, whatever it is you want to look at, the fact Arsenal have been in a rebuild for 2.5 years, whatever factor you want to look at that points towards said team really should be getting top four, they haven't. And I think when you look at the quality across the league, Graham Potter's a good manager. Patrick Vieira's a good manager. Steven Gerrard did brilliantly at Rangers. Now he's at Villa. You know, I don't know how it's going to go for them going forwards, but I think generally the quality around the Premier League to about 17th, you know, is pretty bloody good. So I know what you mean, because the point tally needed to get fourth is lower than it has been really kind of pre-2018. And generally the standard feels like it's got worse. But I think it's across the Premier League, it's got better. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm protecting Arsenal a little bit there. But that's how it feels to me a little bit, because I've seen the champions of Europe still not find it particularly easy.
No, I understand that. I think when you go into, you know, the last 5 to 10 Premier, the last 5 to let's say the last 5 Premier League seasons, when you're going into it, you see 4 teams off the pitch that do what's necessary off the pitch in order to try and get it on the pitch, and that's Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and United. Obviously, throughout those 5 years, for one reason or another, it's been Man City, Liverpool consistent. Chelsea and United's a bit up and down, which has led to other teams having a sniff and other teams, you know, getting it. But it is hard. My thing with it is, yeah, I don't like how it's put in terms of what that comment said about your opinion of it, because it is hard. And what he's trying to say, if he could say it in an articulate manner, is Arsenal should be making it harder. Do you know what I mean? We should be part of the reason why making top four is hard, but we haven't been over the years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's a gap there. Arsenal and Tottenham off the pitch. Well, you can argue Tottenham recently in appointing Conte and breaking their transfer record and whatnot. They're doing things off the pitch that it might show ambition to finish top four and more. Arsenal, not so much yet, until maybe last summer, where you look at 150 million spent, but you break it down to 6 players. It's very different to, I think, didn't United spend 140 on 3? You know, so all right, 150 million spent on one piece of paper looks like Arsenal really, but in reality, there's balance to it. Or where are we coming from? Where are they coming from? 2nd, 8th, similar to other clubs. So it is hard. Arsenal just haven't made it harder for other clubs. You know, it's the other clubs that have made it harder for us. I just want us to get back in there. I always say you're not entitled to win the league, even though I want us competing and challenging. I think we deserve that as a fan base. We deserve to be up there competing and challenging, making it a tougher top four, a harder top four to break. Hopefully we get there.
Do you guys think it's harder?
No. I think it's easy to come fourth. I think we've made it. I think if you'd have said at the start, if you'd have told Arsenal at the start of the season, you're fighting for 2 spots with Man U, Spurs, West Ham, and Leicester, I think we fancy our chances. There's 2 spots to go between those 5 clubs. At the start of the season, I would fancy my chances of Arsenal getting one of those 2 spots. If that at the start of the season, those were the 5 clubs we were battling with. I think now, if we take 4 points from Palace, Southampton, Brighton, it's all but done. Let's be real. It's all but done. If we'd have got 4 points from those 9 that we dropped, it's pretty much done. I'm not sure it is hard.
Spurs had held on.
I think we're making it hard.
Spurs had held on against Southampton.
I accept that, and maybe we beat Chelsea because we were on the back of a bad run. I accept that. I just feel like we're making it hard. It's not that hard. Liverpool and City have gone so far clear and mopped up so many points. It almost makes it easier for us to try and get fourth in a really weird way mathematically, because the points aren't being shared evenly across the league. Those two are just hoovering all the points up. So I actually think it's quite easy. I think we're making it look hard.
But does that opinion change? Sorry, Lee, before you give yours. Does that
Sorry,
opinion,
Lee, sorry.
Does that opinion change, Jordan, if you take out that, that, let's say, hindsight in terms of you knowing you're going to be battling? In the summer, did you think Arsenal did enough
No.
to make it easy as
No.
you think it is now? Because I agree with you. In terms of beating Brighton, Southampton, I think Palace is a difficult game. Vieira,
Even if we lose that one, let's say we lose that one.
yeah,
You get
it's right.
From Brighton and Southampton. So forget even
you
hindsight.
made it hard work in the end.
Even a month ago, we could have really, but anomalies. And I accept that maybe I could be wrong as well, but I think we're making it hard for ourselves rather than it being difficult. Sorry, Lee. Go on.
No. Listen, I think everything, you can't be wrong on this. Whatever you say. Look, listen, at the beginning of the season, I didn't think we was going to get top four. I didn't think we was going to challenge for it because realistically, I thought Man United would be in the mix. Let's be honest about it. Let's get really honest with it. No one envisioned Manchester to be as poor as they have been. You know what I mean? Like, they have been poor virtually for a lot of games this season. They turned up against us at the Emirates, but like the game against Everton before that, I watched them at Burnley and I thought, wow, they are a poor side. I've seen Liverpool tonk them both times and everything like that. Ultimately, what it comes to, and at the end of the day, because you're bottom of the league after 3 games, that doesn't mean to say that you nothing there. I remember going back when in the first Premier League season, Manchester United were bottom after 3 games, won the league. So it doesn't really matter. What happens is you get dealt with situations. Now, every team is going to have a bad result. A Brighton or Manchester City had have lost twice at home, twice against Tottenham. Who would have thought that? Like, nothing against whatever. You just don't expect that to happen. I think that Liverpool have had a couple. I remember Liverpool being 2-0 up against Brighton at home, drew 2-2. All have those sort of games. So ifs and buts and maybes can happen. What happens is you get given you're in a situation. Arsenal were in a situation 3 games ago where they could have nailed Champions League. They failed to do it. Tottenham a week ago, 2 weeks ago, had a chance to nail it. They didn't. Arsenal now have got a chance to nail it again. Don't mess it up. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at it realistically, at this moment in time, and I know this sounds silly, and you can look at it that if Arsenal win their next 3 games, right, they are guaranteed top 4. Now, those 3 games, right, are West Ham away in between a Europa League game, Leeds who are in the bottom 4, and Tottenham away. That's very, very difficult. Is it to get into the Champions League? You could be playing, like, for instance, to win the Champions League, you got to play blah 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 blah. To get into the Champions League, I take those 3 games all day long. So Arsenal should take them, and it could be a lot worse. You could be going to Chelsea, Manchester United, or whatever. Get it right. West Ham in between. Come on. If you're going to play West Ham, I'll tell you what, let's play West Ham in between the semi-final.
We've been blessed. We've been blessed there. We've been blessed.
You've got to take the opportunity. Beat Leeds is what you should do. And then you can go to Spurs. If they've lost to Liverpool, which we suspect we're not going to happen, but if they had, we then beat them, then that's it. And if they were to beat Liverpool, then we've got Everton at home on the last game of the season to nail Champions League football. I don't care now. It is a opportunity that we cannot pass up. Tottenham passed it up.
I agree with that.
A couple of weeks ago. We must not pass it up. And when people turn around and go, oh, it does now. It comes down to, if you can't nail West Ham and you can't nail Leeds at home to put you into a position of going to Tottenham away, to get Champions League football, you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it.
I've said all along, and James mentioned it earlier on as well. I said about a month ago. All we need to do, in my opinion, is get to the Spurs game ahead of Spurs. Just get to the Spurs game, not having to win that game. Get to that game in a position where you don't have to win that game. If we get to the North London derby and it's a game we have to win, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. But even a point lead over Spurs going to that game, I would take that right now. Just go into that match. Not
If we've won the
having
last
to win
two,
it.
if we win the next two, 100%.
That's why I'm confident. If we can win these next 2 games, I don't want to lose to Spurs. It's Spurs, but the pressure's on them. Do you know what I mean? And I just think if we can go into that game in a position whereby we have a little bit of a cushion, even a point or two, I fancy us to see the job through.
Yeah.
James ain't convinced.
No, I'm not. Listen, it's mad because, like I said 2 games ago. Oh, sorry. Did you say James?
Yeah, I said James ain't convinced.
No, carry on. I'm finding interesting.
No, because I'm thinking that because I did want to talk about El Nene and Xhaka, or Xhaka and El Nene, because I know fans get sensitive about that, because they're very much behind this renewed hope that I'm hearing about here. Because a couple games ago, we didn't know what was going to happen in centre mid. We didn't know how it was going to work if it did happen. 2 games later, Chelsea United, it seems like, you know, and Tomiyasu coming back, actually, that's a big thing. Tomiyasu coming back in the last few minutes of the United game, that was massive for me, because we need at least one fullback that can slot in and do better than Cedric or do better than Tavares. It happens to be one side, but Tavares' best performance for us came when Tomiyasu was the other side, I believe. So hopefully that returns. James, go on, because he was addressing you.
No, I just sorry. No, let's stick on that topic. I was just hearing what everyone's saying, reading a lot of the comments, just taking in what people are saying about either game by game. West Ham won't be so easy. I think some points being made about, you know, it's a really good question. Is it easier or harder to make top 4? I genuinely don't know. I don't know. It just got me thinking. You know, you sit there and you just sort of, I don't really have. I think it's harder, but yeah. Sorry. Back to what you were saying. It was an interesting debate.
Go to bed, James. Someone said.
Yeah, no.
It's a late one for you, James. I know, but apologies for that.
Good night, James. Good night.
You lot don't know James. He'll be out after this stream until 4 a.m. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But yeah, El Nene Xhaka. Who was your man of the match, guys? Jordan, Lee, James.
El Nene.
Xhaka.
I can't say his name. I refuse to say his name. Chelsea, it was El Nene, but against United,
The goal on top of it, I understand that.
Even without the goal, I just felt the Xhaka we saw, I'll say his name, the player we saw on Saturday is the player we should have been seeing 4 or 5 years ago. Someone that commanded the ball, someone that made right decisions, somebody that was competitive without being dumb, somebody that was a goal threat, but somebody that also protected his back 4 and it was a bit of a shield. He's not the most athletic player we've got in the team, but I thought he got about the pitch really, really well. I thought his passing was really, really good. So yeah, I mean, I'm a fair man. You know, I'm a fair man. I think you should move on. Come the summer, I want him out. But on Saturday, he was brilliant. And he was excellent in the Chelsea game as well.
Yeah, the Chelsea
but
game.
I thought Elneny just shaded him.
I think Xhaka has been. It's such a stupid thing to say, but I'm going to say it. I think Xhaka has largely been good / very good under Mikel Arteta. The problem is, it's very hard to look beyond 2 things. A, the moments of madness, whether it be a red card, penalty against City, whatever. And B, the fact that actually as a player, he does what he does. And actually there's not really a lot beyond that. He'll give you the odd 25-yard screamer and the odd really kind of nice ball over the top, but it's not like a regular thing. You don't see him as a massive chance creator, nor do you see him as the guy who breaks up the play. He facilitates really well. He keeps things going. So I think because of that, we don't always single him out for the praise he deserves. And I think largely he has been pretty consistent under Arteta. The problem is that it's the question has always been, do you get enough of that for when the bad moments happen for you to kind of look past it or whatever? But his performance against Chelsea United were very good. And again, I think for most this season, probably since his last sending off, he's been very dependable, very good. And I thought he was man of the match against Chelsea, and then El Nene edged it against United. But the two of them, sometimes it's not pretty, but sometimes you just need your midfielders to tackle and pass well. and then everything flows from there. And they did more than that, but I think largely that's kind of what you expect from them. And I think they've been more, going above and beyond that the last couple of games.
What I would say, I've got to say this about Granit Xhaka, is that if he gets a lot of criticism when he don't do things right, yeah, and quite rightly so. But when he plays like he has done the last 2 games, under those 2 circumstances, we ain't talking teams in Division 1 or down the bottom of the league. Chelsea and Manchester United, we have needed somebody to step up to the plate and take this team forward in these games, because I'm telling you that now, he's done that. He's done it with his performance, the way he's been, his attitude, that, when there's a little bit of bother hanging around, he's in there protecting the young players and all that. Like, if you notice, when there's all the pushing and shoving, as soon as he gets involved, no one's pushing and shoving him, and I like that. And I think the last 2 games, he has stepped up to the plate and has been magnificent. And everybody's looking at faults 2-3 years ago and all that. Like, we don't look at the faults of Mikel Arteta 2-3 weeks ago. We take all that on board, and if somebody else makes a mistake, and I've seen Partey, by the way, give away the ball on numerous occasions, but because it's Partey, it's all okay. Not criticising.
No, but giving the ball away and having a bad game is one thing. Xhaka's L's are really stupid, repeated things. Do you know what I mean? If a player can give the ball away and have a shocker of a game, Partey's had some bad games. I stupid things.
I get the stupid things. I sat here the other day and watched Mane, right, do exactly what Xhaka done against Burnley, and he gets nothing, a yellow card and all that. As soon as it was Xhaka, sent off, and the criticism comes to it. What I'm saying is, forget about everything that he's done. I know that, but people can't. Look on what he's doing at the moment. Everybody's turned around to me in the last few years, and I get it, and have turned around and said, he's cost us Champions League, he's cost us this, he's cost us that. I remember him costing us a penalty against Brighton, which is cost us Champions League. He, at this moment in time, could take us to Champions League. And I think if we hadn't had those 2 performances against what he's produced in the last couple of games, and don't get me wrong, he's got to go and do it. And I'll get shot with this now, because he'll probably go and do something stupid at Tottenham. But ultimately, he's done the last 2 games. He's helped us get to where we got to go. And if he can do it again, I'm with him. Like, what I mean?
You know what, Turkish? If the club guaranteed that next season Xhaka was going to be our 4th or even 5th choice midfielder, I could maybe warm to keeping him. Because if he was going to be like Al Milner, that comes in, does a job every now and again, I could maybe have him as a squad player. But as long as he's in that Arsenal squad, he's always going to be considered as our senior and best midfielder. And I can't have our main midfielder being Granit Xhaka. I just can't have it, because as James says, we've all said it as well. The indiscretions and the mistakes he made, well, say mistakes, the things he makes that cost us, for me, outweigh the good games. There's not enough the Man Uniteds, but there's too many of the Man Cities, and it's not worth the gamble for me. So I'd move him on.
Out of everybody, like, just ask a question, like, you know what I mean? And it's interesting what James said. Who's been our best midfield player throughout the whole season? I think it's been Xhaka.
It's been Xhaka. It's a low bar.
Centre mid,
yeah. But that shows that bar's got to be raised, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying. That's not Xhaka's fault. We have got to, when people say, the team needs improving, if Granit Xhaka is your best midfield player, I totally agree with you on this, Jordan. I'm not criticising Xhaka when I say this, but if he's been our best player, we've got to improve our midfield.
I kind of look at it as our midfield's been quite poor throughout the season, but the best points of both of theirs came at the same time when Partey was given like the anchor role and Xhaka was moved a bit more forward on the pitch. So I get you, because you are right. In terms of who's been our best, it's a debate to be had, if anything. I think they've both had their moments, but it's essentially we need an upgrade, and it's going to. Sorry. In terms of
I think we're being harsh.
What, in terms of first team?
James. Liverpool, Thiago. Man City, De Bruyne. Even Man United have got a couple of top midfielders. We can't be a club next year if in the Champions League looking to go to the next level and our main midfielder is Granit Xhaka. We can't do that. We can't do that.
We've got a super chat. We've got a super chat just coming from Wayne saying Xhaka has been consistently made a scapegoat. Arteta is finally using him how he should be used. Wenger made him that midfield pivot.
I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah, well, there is, because, like I said, the best version of Xhaka I've seen since he's come to the club is those few games that he played in front of Partey. Not necessarily because what he did on the ball there, but he was better utilized for me in that position, because even any mistakes that could have been made, he didn't make any. It wouldn't have cost us as much as they have done in the past. So I give credit to Arteta for that.
Yeah, all I'll say is, look, largely I agree with the sentiment of the group, and I think for me, sometimes I wonder whether there are things that we just don't understand. And what I mean by that is like listen, I go on Tactical Insight with Graham, and we try look at numbers and we try break things down and try show what we think's going on or whatever. But obviously, we've never been anywhere near the level of a proper coach who's got to that level or whatever. And sometimes I just wonder whether there are things, whether it be positionally, whether it be as a senior player, things on the pitch that we just can't almost see or quantify that Xhaka brings, because we have been at our best when Xhaka's been in the team. We talk about the last two games. Remember the North London derby where he got injured?
100% great.
And we were all saying, don't bring him straight back. He got sent off at City. Don't bring him in. It'd be the wrong decision. Came in, phenomenal performance. So sometimes I just wonder, I ultimately agree, because would he get into the midfield of the teams that we're trying to chase? No. And you say City, Liverpool, I don't think either Kante, Kovacic, whatever. He was brilliant against Kante the other day, don't get me wrong. But I just, yes, I would be looking out there. I'd be adding depth. I'd be adding quality, but also I'd be adding a different player. But I think I'm going to make a prediction now. We start next season and Xhaka's in our midfield. I think we'll have added players. I think we'll have added depth and quality, but I bet the first couple of games he starts. Really, I do. I think Arteta will stick with him because he knows what he's going to get.
Well, we'll see. Considering the time, we're nearly hitting 40 minutes. I do want to move it on because we've got a couple more subjects to talk about. And this is always a subject that causes debate. But he has been in good form recently. He stood up to the challenge, and so far so good in terms of the last couple of games. Hopefully it continues with El Nene there. And we'll see. Before we move on to West Ham, and you mentioned the summer there, James, Gabriel Jesus has been strongly linked to us. I believe they asked him about it, and he said he doesn't want to comment on it yet, because obviously Man City are in, the chase for a couple of major runners. What do you guys make of the Gabriel Jesus links, Jordan?
I like it. I like him. I feel like we'd be getting a player if we did get him who would have a point to prove. I think if supplied well, there's a player that I believe can bang you 18, 20 Premier League goals. That's what we need. I think the striker I think we need two strikers personally. I think we'll only get one. But I think we need two. But whoever we sign as a forward needs to be someone that I'm convinced can be the guy that is going to frighten defenses next season. The guy that hasn't even got to be a 1 in 2, because there's not many 1 in 2 strikers out there. You're talking Lewandowski, Kane, Benzema. But we're not going to get that striker. But a 1 in 3 striker. And I think Jesus is a 1 in 3 striker. So I like it. The fact that he can play wide, people say is a positive. I don't, because I think that it opens a door to shunting him in a position that I don't want to see him play. I want to see him through the middle. So I
think that's what he wants as well. It must be what he wants to be, entertaining leaving Man City at the moment. It must be. He wants to
be the main man, yeah. And you're not getting a Chelsea cast off as well, or a Man United cast. You're getting a guy that's still relatively, 25, still relatively young. I like it. One thing I would say about transfers is get them done early. Please I don't care who you buy, just get them done early. Jesus has shown him a little bit of leg, shown a little bit of, you know what I mean? Just come and get me. Get it done. Get that deal done before the season even ends. You haven't got to announce it, but get it done. I don't want to go to the back end of the transfer window and we're get it done early. But no, on Jesus, I'm a fan, and I would happily have him at Arsenal as our number 9.
Lee, nodding there.
Yeah, listen, I think that there's better players out there, if I'll be honest. But what I would say is
Who?
Haaland is out there. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bit better.
A bit better.
Facts.
You know, so listen, what I'm saying is
need
you've got to look for availability and whatever. Like,
Exactly.
you know, the thing is with Jesus is that he probably knows that it doesn't matter what he does this season or whatever. Someone's coming in, you know, he's going to come in next season and take like change. But if I was as him, I'd want to get out. You know what I mean? Like if I was Jack Grealish, for instance, doesn't play regular for me. You know what I mean? You know, you're going to go to Arsenal. You know, listen, if he comes to Arsenal, he's coming there as the main man because he's not going to be he's not going to become a squad player at Arsenal if he's a squad player at Man City. It just doesn't make sense. So he's going to come. He's going to come. And I think at the end of the day, it's good business. If it's £25 million, you know, is what they're talking about. It's Premier League experience. He can play in different positions as well. I think he's the sort of player profile that Arteta likes, that can play wide, can play up front and everything like that. So, you know, I think it's a good deal. What I would like to say, like alongside him, I would like to say bring him in, and then someone like Ivan Toney at Brentford is something that I would like as well, because I think we need to
get them both.
Nah, you know something about Ivan Toney I don't like. He needs to control himself off the pitch. I don't want that sort of. I can't.
Well, maybe he's fighting for a move, Turkish. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you know,
it's still not a good attitude, because if things go pear shaped for him over here, he's going to be doing the same nonsense. That you can't be getting caught one moment on camera saying another thing, and then you're saying another thing again a couple months later. Like for me, yeah, he scored 11 goals, and I even touted him as a potential one even until recently. But 11 goals, 5 penalties.
What I've liked about him, I think he's improved as the Premier League season's gone on, and I also think that Arsenal do need something else, another point of attack. You know, if it's not working that way, like, you know, someone that's going to be a little bit physical. And rough up some defenders, you know, maybe roughing up the defenders you know, I would like to see something like that, you know. So somebody of that ilk, I wouldn't mind at Arsenal as well. Like, I'm not saying he's going to come in as the number 1, but I do want to see a big, powerful striker as well as Jesus.
I think Núñez, obviously, he wouldn't want to be like a rotational option either. But there's Patrick Schick as well. There's Giovanni Simeone. There's other names for me that I'm more interested in than Toney. I understand Toney, because, like I said it myself. But when I really think about it, like he's
as a number 2, I'm with Lee. I wouldn't want him as your number 1. But if you get Jesus and Toney, I'm happy. And I think you can get them both done for 70 mil. I think you can get both for 70 mil.
2 I want. That's the exact 2 I want.
Yeah, same.
I'll hold my hands up. A lot of it's because I don't really know how good Darwin Núñez is, for example. Yeah, look great in the Champions League. I've seen it before. I've seen players who look like they're storming it at their club. Am I right in thinking Vlahović's move to Juve hasn't gone brilliantly at the moment?
No, he's on the bench now. He's been dropped, hasn't he? I see that today. It's not going well.
Mean, let that be a lesson for him. He might listen.
What are you saying, James? Have a little nibble, second nibble.
Well, no, absolutely not. But I mean, maybe. Listen, all I'm saying is I'm sure. Listen, I've made this excuse for Arteta. Probably needs time to bed in. Probably needs time to find his feet, get going. I'm sure he'll be a top player. What I'm saying is, it doesn't always work. Just because someone's firing at one club, you know, or in another league or whatever. Yeah, you could say about the targets we're looking at. But what I like about Toney and Jesus, you've got variety, and you've got a degree of proof in the pudding there, because you've got a player, Ivan Toney, all season has been an absolute handful. I understand the lack of goals. I hear that. But he is an absolute handful. He causes you so many problems. The players you can bring into play. I think Jesus, I disagree. I think using him out wide isn't a bad thing. I think having players with that versatility, say you play him up front and Martinelli's on the left, there's no reason why they don't alternate throughout the game. Him pulling out wide so Saka can get closer to goal, all these things. So I love his versatility. I think they're 2 good options, but I understand they might be a little bit uninspiring, and Arsenal might go for that kind of bit more of a gamble. Might cost a little bit more, but the rewards might be higher. So we'll see. I'm very Osimhen being mentioned, for example.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to literally just see what the club do. I'm not in my head thinking these are good signings, these are bad signings, and this is what I want. I'm sort of willing to trust the club and what they do this summer because I do think they got a lot of last summer right. Don't get me wrong, I think they got January wrong. I still think that, despite the position we're in. But I think they got a lot of last summer right. So I'm kind of willing to trust and accept that there are going to be players that fit a certain system. Example, is Ramsdale a better shot stopper than Bernd Leno? He's shown moments, but is he better? I'm not sure. But he's better at passing out the back. Go on, what are you going to say, John?
I've got concerns about Ramsdale.
Okay, well, yeah, so maybe worth a discussion. But see, my point is, he maybe wasn't an upgrade in all areas, but he was an upgrade for what Arteta needed. Ben White, I've seen White lunge into challenges. I've seen him look a little suspect at times when it comes to a bit of one-on-one defending or dropping back or dealing with runners. But he's brilliant on the ball. And I kind of think maybe we're not going to get that 30-goal a season striker or anyone who's shown that kind of history, that who's got that on their CV, but we'll have someone who is going to fulfill the bigger system, if you believe in all that, which I kind of do.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Nothing we can do in that department on Sunday against West Ham, though. And moving on to that game, Eddie Nketiah, does he remain up top? Yeah. Okay.
But I thought he played well against Man United. His hold-up play was pretty good. I was impressed with it. Didn't score, but I thought he contributed to the win. Worked hard, and that deserves it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have started him, but he played well.
I fear this could be one for Lacazette. More trying to break a team down. If that's how West Ham play it, I know West Ham have been very on the front foot. West Ham fans, don't get mad at me. I know they've played some lovely football this season. Just in between games, might they tighten up, go through at the back? Then it's probably a game more for Lacazette. But I don't think you can drop Nketiah on this form. I think he's been good.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'd start him up top. Tomiyasu comes straight back in
for me. Yeah.
Because
you're going to keep Tavares.
Yeah. Well, you have to. And there's no.
I think we need to get a little bit more solidity. Was that the word I'm looking for? Basically, more solid in the back. Yeah. I think we need to get that. We need to get him back and playing.
Yeah. In terms of other positions, it pretty much picks itself, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Martinelli back in.
Martinelli, Smith Rowe is an interesting debate.
I'm not so sure that Smith Rowe's 100% fit. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I just feel like it looks like he's carrying.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem comfortable.
I'll be honest. I don't think he was good against United. If I'm being really honest, Chelsea, lovely goal.
Brilliant.
And I had some nice moments. You think of the shimmy and the shot in the penalty area against Chelsea. That was really lovely. I just don't think he looks really at it. Martinelli, some people were saying to me the other day, but he's only got 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 15 or something. Yeah, I get that. But when some players are they're just a bloody handful. I've been saying about Tony. He just causes mayhem. I think Martinelli's a bit like that. He'll always just be a nightmare. Even if he's having a 2 out of 10 performance, it'll always just be difficult.
I'd bring him back in. I think Emil Smith, in terms of which one has more impact off the bench, I'd say this season Emil Smith Rowe has. So it'll be good to have him on the bench just in case we need a goal moving into the latter stages of the game. So, I think Martinelli, anytime he's given a chance again in the starting lineup, he tends to perform. He tends to give it his all. That's in his nature. So I think in that position, I'd go with Martinelli. Seems like we're all in agreement.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at Jeannie's comment.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, Lee, I don't know if that was a word, mate, but yeah, good try.
So I'm inventive, you know what I mean? I try to bring new words up.
Leave Lee alone. Yeah, we know you man.
I know exactly what I mean.
We need.
Before we get the league,
to pick up on it, James. You know what I mean? That's all because I said I picked up the one about you going to bed. I know what you're doing.
And you bully me for the league table. So any Lee slander, I'm all for it. Within reason, guys. Within reason.
On that league table, I'm going to bring it up shortly. There's a couple more super chats that I didn't manage to get in earlier. One from Cyram says Arteta should never accept the cursed manager of the month award ever again in the future. We'll then be fine. Craig says, love watching you guys, legends, love for that, my guy. Kyle says, Man City creates the most chances, yet Jesus scores very little. Well, Jesus has gone through spurts at Man City. Obviously, I'm not a Man City fan to follow them every single week, but in terms of when you need two strikers, I'll take him as one of the options, that's for sure. And we've got one here from Aldi, and it says, this has nothing to do with the topic, so don't read it out if you don't want to. Well, here we are, Aldi. I just want to show some love because I got cheated on and lied to, and you guys are my escape from reality. So thank you for making the content to distract me from my life. Listen, Aldi. Keep your head up, my guy. Love for the love, always. Sometimes in life, you can find yourself in situations and moments where you think, there's nothing better round the corner, and it can really get you down, and you get caught up in the moment. But once you turn that corner and you find better, you'll look back at this and you'll laugh at yourself, and you'll say,
punch for it, mate. Punch for it.
Yeah, come on. Love for that, man. Love for that. I see you're getting a lot of support from the chat as well. So big up everyone's support in there, and I appreciate that we can take your mind off things, and hopefully that continues. Let's get this league table up now. Where is it? Here we are. Obviously, I got the correct score against United, so I've closed the gap on Lee. And yeah, Jordan and James there just fighting for third.
I think it's done, James. I think it's done.
My saving grace is that you haven't got a correct score all season, which quite frankly is embarrassing. Do you know what you're like? You're staying up in the Premier League with a load of draws. That's what you're doing. You've drawn all 38 games, and it's enough to keep you up. But you've never tasted. You've never tasted victory.
I won't be getting sacked.
You know what I am? I'm finishing 8th, but winning the FA Cup. That's what I am. You're just lingering in 6th. But what
pathetic. Just while we're live, it's pathetic. The stat man is the Pratt man. That's all I'm
all about. It's all about the ritual. It's all about the bigger picture.
The bigger picture. I don't even know how Jordan's above you with no correct scores. It's all mad. It's all mad.
But that in itself is probably more impressive because he's guessed the result.
There you go.
More than anyone else. So there is
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I guess. But he's still.
So technically, I'm top. Technically, I should be top.
Well, I don't know what techniques you're using for that technically, but we're not using the same one. Listen, people, we've been predicting every single Arsenal score all season from game week 1 all the way up until game week. Well, we're on 34, moving into 35, and we always start at the top of the table. Lee, West Ham away.
Do you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to be a little bit cautious, but I think it could be more than this. So I'm going to go West Ham 0, Arsenal 2. But I think it could be a little bit more. I don't know. Just depend what sort of team West Ham put out like. But I think Arsenal will win this game. So I'm going 2-0.
Your answer is locked in. So I've got that written down. On that note, I believe Zuma started tonight. So that's one centre back they've got back. Someone said check Chris Wheatley's tweet. James, if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. Jordan,
I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. Yeah, because
3-1.
And I'm being generous. I think it could be a battering, and I'm gonna be accused of being arrogant and we'll do this podcast next week, and I'll have egg on my face, no doubt. But I'm sorry, if you can't beat West Ham in the middle of a semi-final they have, I'm sorry, man. This is it can't lose this match, even a draw. You've been given a nice fixture. Come on, get the job done. Just get it done.
And we play after Tottenham. I believe Tottenham play.
They're in the same position at Leicester. Like they should beat Leicester comfortably. Like, you know what I mean? Because Leicester in the semi-final as well. So I just think like that. I think both teams should win at the weekend. And if they don't, whoever don't, they don't deserve it. I'm going to say that now. If Tottenham don't beat Leicester, they don't deserve top 4, same as us. If we don't do it, like, you know, got to nail this one, guys.
I think
what are you going for, Stepman?
Just want to shout out to any username will do who's reminded me that he's told me not to worry. I've made top 4. So there we go. There's Champions League football for me next year.
You're in a job, mate.
By the way, Chris Wheatley hasn't tweeted for 2 days.
Well, there we have it. This is why
Fake news.
we don't waste too much time on it. Go on. Am I going to put 1-1 down, James, or are you going to change?
Absolutely. Give me a nice 1-1. Thank you very much.
How's James got 10 points, 12 points? Who knows? Who knows?
It's all part of the bigger plan.
Can I just say briefly and finally from me anyway, I think West Ham gets something tonight. I think the second leg, they're still in the tie. So I reckon that's another reason why they're going to definitely just play a second 11. Because I reckon for the second leg, it's going to be competitive. They're going to want to go to that second leg and finish the job off. So I just can't see a situation where West Ham play a team that beats us on the weekend. I just can't see it. And if they do, again, we don't deserve fourth.
Do you imagine if it's 1-1? If they win today or it's 1-1, right? And if Kurt Zuma plays against Arsenal, right? Yeah, and he gets injured, right? Just say that he gets injured in that game, right? You know what I mean? And they go to the second leg without their two main central defenders, because Dawson will be the other one. The West Ham fans are going, man, why did you play him against Arsenal? I remember a couple of years ago, we had Manchester United away when we was playing Madrid. We lost 2-1 in the last minute goal. I didn't really care. It was all about trying to beat Madrid. We didn't, but it was all about that, So, no excuses for Arsenal in this game. I'm sorry. They've got to go and do the business.
I think they'll go. I think they'll give it a go. They're not going to pack out the house in a London derby in May with Europa League football still on the line for them. United in terrible form. I think they're going to go for it. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
what against us?
I don't think they're going to roll over, guys. I don't.
Oh no, I don't think they're going to. They're going to put in a performance, but at the end of the day, ultimately, they've got to have one eye on that semi-final. Even if you're playing in that game, you don't want to get injured, James. Do you know what I mean? And miss out in the semi-final and possibly the final. I'm sorry, this is Arsenal. Should want it more than West Ham.
But they can bag themselves. Absolutely, they should. They should. You're right, but they can bag themselves Europa League football again next year. Look at what an amazing season it's been, and the opportunity that's been there for them. I really don't think they'll just be thinking, let's just, I know what you mean. Whatever team goes out there, they'll give it their all. But I don't think they're going to just rock up with a second 11, personally.
Yeah.
I would love them to, but I don't. And there's a guy called Irons in the comment section saying, we won't take it easy. And I kind of agree. I almost don't think the West Ham fans would allow it, really. I don't think they would just turn up, let Arsenal sort of roll over and on to the next.
No, what the West Ham fans, I know we've got to end here, but the West Ham fans will be more pissed off if they put out a competitive team against Arsenal and there's an injury to Rice or to Antonio or to Bowen. The West Ham don't get this far in Europe very often. And I take your point that the league is still a route for them to get back in it next year. But I'm sorry, if I'm a West Ham fan, as long as the 11 that do go out, give it their all, even if the quality drops because it's their second 11, as long as they give it their all, as a West Ham fan, I don't want to talk for them, but I'd imagine you'd accept that. If you start seeing the big guns turning up in that a game against Arsenal, I don't know if I'm too happy with my manager about that one. And I'm not one for planning the next game normally, but this is a very unique situation where this is probably the one time where I do think you have to look at the next game before the game before.
I think they're 9th or 10th.
Someone said
they're 9th or 10th. I agree.
Antonio and Rice didn't start against Chelsea. You know what I mean? Like, why?
Yeah, Wayne here with a super chat says, James, it's their best and only route into Champions League. Why would they take the chance for Europa? I think it's a
great point. Great point. They've got a great chance of getting into the Champions League. You know what I mean? They've got a great chance.
I think when you look at you mentioned it, James. I think it was earlier, maybe on a stream a couple of days ago, when Mourinho kind of threw all the eggs in the Europa League basket for United all those years ago. The thing is, it's very risky to do because you could end up with nothing next season. You could end up with no European football. So it is a balance. I think one eye on there, and Lee's right. We definitely should want that more on Sunday. But don't think Moyes is not going to underestimate them.
Certainly not. Yeah. Not going to underestimate them.
100%. 100%. We've got all the predictions in. Lee says 2-0. I'm going 2-1. Jordan's going 3-1. And James, as always, is going 1-1. If you want to know why he always goes 1-1, AFTV VIP is the app. Look out for us there every week. And we'll do this once in a while. We appreciate everyone in the chat now. There's some football to go watch. Love for the love as always. Hit the like button. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I'll reply to as many as I can over the next 12 or so hours. And yeah, Lee, Jordan, James, thanks for the hour. Appreciate it.
Thanks for everybody in the chat and thanks for watching.
Yes,
Much
mate.
appreciated.
Big up yourself.
People, we're out. Aldi, keep your head up, my guy.